what have you done to Johanna? She's a player possessed. It's extraordinary to see the transformation this season. She is, you're doing something.
I have to keep my have to keep my secret.
And Mayra as well, actually.
Yeah.
Let's have the two together.
No, I agree. I think Mayra and Yo-Yo just had great performances tonight. As I already said, like when the team is performing, that's always more easy for players individually to perform. But yeah, I have to say, like Yo-Yo is on fire. She just had a great performance and she just scored 2 great goals. And we are really happy with that because she's been impacting the game and she's helping the team to perform and get some good results.
But have you changed anything, Sonia? Have you altered the way she interacts with other players? What's altered?
No, I think there is nothing special from maybe last season. It's just like, you know, the mental and the confidence some players can get sometimes. And yeah, we always try with the staff and with my 2 assistant coaches and all the staff to put the players comfortable. When we have training sessions, we work collectively and individually. And sometimes after the training session, we just stay on pitch and we just try to give them some feedback because we were players and we try to work with them very closely. Sometimes I make them smile because I come in the training session with them, you know, and I make them look good because I'm not doing good. So yeah, it's about like working hard, finding the good balance, but also having fun with the players, you know, and just enjoying. And I think at the moment, if you ask the team and Yo-Yo if they are enjoying, I think they will answer yes for sure.
And just finally with Mayra, she seems to have more freedom on the pitch now. Is that right? Or?
I already said, I think like I have a game model. Sometimes from the game model we just take some elements to have a game plan. And inside of this game plan, I like to give some freedom to my players because, you know, they are the ones who make the decisions on pitch and they have to be creative. But maybe like what I'm the most proud of tonight, it's like being able to score 5 goals without having the squad and in the game some special players, especially some forwards, LJ, Qatar, some Kerr. So I think that's really good.
That's very good.
Yeah. Hi Sonia, an amazing start. 4 wins, I think the 3rd manager to win your first 4 WSL games. Going into this international break, how do you reflect on such a successful start and how do you keep up that intensity after the break?
Yeah, you know, I think in terms of results, that's maybe a perfect start, ideal. But when you reflect on that, that's only the beginning of the season, gives you some good confidence going through the season, but we didn't win anything yet. So when I say I'm someone who is really demanding with my player, this is about it. Yes, that's good to make this good start. Yes, that's good to be top in the table, even if we are 1 game less. But at the moment, we didn't win anything, so that's factual.
And what would you say the areas of improvement are? You've spoken before, even when you've had big wins, that there's still a lot more to do. What do you spot those areas as?
Yeah, I just said after the Champions League midweek game, I like defensively not to concede anything, and when we can get some clean sheet, I'm someone who is really happy. But I have to be fair with my players. This league is so competitive. We have so many teams who are really good level, and you need to give some credit to Tottenham tonight again. They were able to cause some troubles just because they are a good team. They have good players. And you know, coming from France, it's a bit different because sometimes we were controlling more the game because we had less teams who were able to cause some problems to us. So coming to the league, I'm learning about that. And when you watch the game tonight, the high intensity in the game was just so high. I think people who were watching on TV just enjoyed the game because the high intensity was there. and being consistent all through the game. I think people who just came to the stadium enjoyed as well. And if you want to be a team who play and doesn't close the game, sometimes it's a bit painful to concede some things, some situations, some chances and some goals. But I prefer to be able to score 5 and take 2 rather than not scoring goals at all.
And back-to-back London derbies and wins. Are you starting to understand the sort of fierce rivalries within the league?
Yeah, for sure. I just told my players, sometimes as much as you want to play a beautiful football, you need to understand when you play a derby, it's also being able from the start of the game to be physical and intense and being able to win duels in a good way, So yeah, it's also about that. So I think having this winning mentality and also this mentality wanting to work really hard on pitch, I think that's something really important if we want to be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kit, next please.
Sonia, congratulations.
Thank you.
I think none of us are sure whether Tottenham's first goal crossed the line or not. Is it frustrating that we don't know for sure when the technology is available out there but wasn't available tonight?
Yeah, I just said the technology is available for the men's game. It's been now 10 years. And when the technology is available for the men's game, why it shouldn't be the case for the women's game? So if we want to look more professional, I think we need to move forward with the technology. And even if it's a hard decision to make for the referees, central referee and the assistant referee, I just think you have to be 100% sure the ball was in to make that call. I don't know if it was the case or not. From Hannah's reaction, it felt like maybe he was doubting, but from where I was on the pitch, it was too difficult to know or to say something else. But I really liked the reaction of my players. Yeah, that's the way it is. The referee just made the decision. You need to accept that and move on with the game.
Have you had any conversations before about getting goal line technology into the WSL, or will you in the wake of what's happened tonight?
If they ask me my thoughts about that, I will say exactly what I just told you, and I already said from my previous experience. Because when you work really hard during the week to prepare the game, hopefully tonight we were able to score more goals from that decision. But when you just lose a game 1-0 because the referee just made that decision without the technology, it's so frustrating. And something like sometimes, you work really hard and that decision costs you 3 points and the game, and it's so disappointing.
And finally for me, can I just check with LJ, obviously we saw before kickoff that she's withdrawn from England duty, just what's her situation?
LJ just got a calf injury. She will be out for several weeks. Not sure yet how long she will be coming back. But yeah, for sure we won't see her even after the international break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessie?
Hey Sonia,
Hey.
I was interested in what you just said about that shift from playing in France to playing in England and maybe the higher level. Is that something that you feel like you're having to adjust your management style to in terms of both player rotation and maybe your game model?
Yes, yeah, I already started to adjust my game model. Sometimes it's frustrating because as much I like to be dominant with the team, sometimes you just need to accept the other teams are doing a good job. They have talent in the team, players who are doing good. So sometimes when I was in France with Lyon, we were dominating so much and we were able to press really high all through the game. Here sometimes if you look at Tottenham tonight, they are a team who are really good in build-up. And even if you want to press, sometimes they are able to break your press, high pressure, and I think you need to adjust because at the end, my management and my game model has to help the players on the pitch to perform and to get some good results. So I already started with some elements, and I think that's the way a manager needs to adapt to just make sure we get the 3 points every single game.
And it feels like over sort of these first 6 games, we've seen a lot of Mayra Ramirez using the channels to create overloads of the wingers, but maybe at points there's then not always that presence in the box. Can you talk me through a little bit that idea?
Yeah, I think Mayra is a player who really likes to help the teammates make some runs, and sometimes when she's coming wide, it's difficult for her to be wide and in the box. So we just need to make sure we have the good balance, and the players who have to make that work just make the work for her to stay maybe sometimes more central. But I think it's something really good for her to be able to do both, even if we still have room for improvement with Mayra. This is something we have been talking together. She knows exactly what we expect from her on the pitch. She's doing well, but I think she's still like maybe not at her best level. So this is a good point, because she showed tonight and in the previous games she's being impactful for the team, so that's good. But she's really listening to us, and we are on the same page from the expectations.
And just quickly, finally, video of Niamh Charles back on grass in the week. What's sort of the timeline in terms of her getting back to playing?
We are hoping to have Niamh back end of November, beginning of December.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Could I ask about the additional players who may be coming back soon? Do you know the status of the others?
So we have LJ, we spoke about it, Niamh, and we have Katarina Macario. So I think in management, I was too optimistic for her to be with the squad and be able to play. But I think after the international break, we'll keep Katarina with us, making sure we manage her on the way she needs to be managed, to make sure she will be fit after the international break. That's the plan.
And in terms of people like Sam Kerr, what month are you looking to have her back on the grass?
It's difficult to give a date.
Month.
Sam is doing good. Every player is different. So at the moment she's in a good position, but you never know what can happen during this long rehab, especially with these ICLs. So it's difficult for me to give a timeline.
Jane?
Sandy Baltimore got a yellow card quite early on in the 18th minute, and I wondered how you weigh up the risk of keeping her on the pitch when she's, obviously a fast and physical player, but if she got another yellow card, then she would have been off. How do you weigh up those risks, whether to keep her on or take her on?
For sure, like when the player got a yellow card, it's something the manager needs to control. It's different, I think, even if somebody is a physical player, it's different when it's a player who plays more up front or a defender. As you could see, in the second half, she was in the challenge with a player, and it was really short, So I thought about it. So this is why I made her coming out of the pitch, and also on the Kanesha Buchanan when she got the yellow card. You never know as a defender, sometimes you can be in a situation when it's really tricky. So I just made the decision to call her out of the pitch.
Yeah, Phoebe, and then we'll take one from behind.
Sonia, you mentioned briefly you really liked how your players reacted after that kind of controversial Spurs equaliser. How much of your reign so far has kind of been focused on working on the players' mentality, and psychologically, getting them ready to perform and reacting like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of time and energy. For me, you have 4 elements in football to make sure your team performs. It's technique, tactic, physical, and mental. I think all of them are really important, and as much important as each other. And I think, for me, it's really important to, in terms of mental, making sure my players are able to manage their emotions, frustrations, confidence, being able to perform under pressure. So I spend a lot of energy making sure in my training environment I just take care of that collectively and individually, and I spend a lot of time talking to my players about that. Leadership, management, what kind of leaders do I have in my team, which one is taking charge of what. This is a lot of time, and I think you need to have some experts in your staff who help you with that, because as a manager you have so much work to be done and you cannot take everything on charge. So the mental side of the performance is really important in my eyes, and I just need to make sure in the staff we get the right support for the players.
Yep.
Hey Sonia, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Just moving a bit away from this game, this was the fixture that produced Chelsea's record attendance in the WSL about 2 seasons ago. The way Chelsea's playing right now, a London derby as well, do you think this game merited to be played at the Bridge?
Do I think these games
This game should have been played at Stamford Bridge?
should played at Stamford Bridge? Sorry. You know, this stadium, Kingsmeadow, is a really nice stadium. The atmosphere is great. As much as I like to play in huge stadiums, sometimes it's better to play in Kingsmeadow with 1,000 people cheering for us and being really next to us, close to us. I think the atmosphere tonight was great, and the fans are helping the team to perform, just like bringing energy, positive energy, and I really enjoy playing here. So that's the way it is, and I prefer to have like 5,000 people here in Kingsmeadow rather than only 5,000 in Stamford Bridge, even if our expectations are to be able to play with 40, 45, 50,000 people in the stadium.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thanks.
Last question, and then we'll leave it there.
So, you've won all the games so far in the season. Now it's the first international break. When the club football returns, how do you plan the team to keep the rhythm so they continue the winning strike?
You know, for us, what is really important now is to get some break for the staff. We still have some players who are staying with us, so we just made the plan for them to be continuing to work. And also, like, if you think about it, for the players, that's crazy. We deserve to have a break because playing every 3 days, Champions League games, league games, it's so intense. And when I think about my players, some of them are going to travel all around the world to play more games, and that's crazy for me because as much as I feel I need to have a break, they won't have a break. So I think this is something really important for us to make sure we just communicate in a perfect way with the national teams, just making sure our medical staff is communicating with every medical staff in national team, every coach. I speak with every coach. The performance staff is speaking and communicating with the performance staff for national team, because I think if we want to manage our players, it's also about that communication, making sure when the players go with national team, they just get what they need in terms of work. And I think it's really important in terms of management. And after the international break, I hope I will be able to manage some players on the game in the league. But as I just said, like, this league is so competitive, so sometimes even if you want to manage them, that's difficult because your job is to make sure you just win the games.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Nice
Sonia.
evening, everyone.